Hi friends, and welcome back to Amanda Muse. Yesterday on my Facebook page, I left a question, just throwing it out to you guys, that if you had any video requests to please leave them there. I got a lot of questions, along with some other suggestions, which are all great, and I will keep them, on my list for future videos. But I thought what I would just do today is kind of like an Ask Amanda, because why not? Fatma Arak asked how your routine changed from going from 1 to 2 kids. Any advice or tips? In terms of going from 1 to 2, I think every mom probably panics because you think, how in the hell am I going to do this? Because I thought those things. But what I find is that your second child kind of adapts to the first one, and then vice versa. But I found what I would do is I would just kind of adapt Jack to Esme. So like at the very beginning, when we were in like that survival stage, everybody, including myself, was ready for bed at Esme's bedtime. So by 8 p.m. we were all jammied up and in the bed. Whether or not everybody fell asleep at that time was, to be determined, but like Jack would fall asleep being a new baby. He'd fall asleep for like that 2-3 hours until he was ready for another feed, or maybe less, like whatever. I think you just pace yourself and you set your expectations really low, and then you can't be too terribly disappointed. Set realistic goals. So for me it was like, get dinner on the table for everybody, and sometimes that goal didn't even get achieved, or get out of the house at least one time at the beginning. But at the end of the day, you end up finding a routine that makes sense for your family. So for me, like when Jack goes down at his 10 a.m. nap, I do something with Esme, and Esme no longer naps. So then when Jack is awake, we eat and I just get things rolling, and then when he goes down for his 1 p.m. nap, I do something with Esme, or I film a video, or she has quiet time. So you will figure it out. So I guess I don't really have too much advice, just it's surprising how quickly your family adapts to that new family member. And then also, I think just keep your expectations low and you may be pleasantly surprised. Long-winded, but there's the answer. Another question, Zulazimi Hoxilwan, they were asking top 5 favorite expat lifestyle perks that you miss the most. Well, I don't know if I can name 5, but definitely the top thing I'm missing is having a helper, in terms of just cleaning and also in terms of babysitting. That was amazing, and I miss her terribly. I miss her as a person. Vasantha, she was amazing, and she's just having someone just kind of help you. It's like a second set of arms, that because she was employed by me, there's this understanding that she's there to help me specifically. So I miss that a lot. And then the other thing I miss is the weather, because it's a bitch to take kids out in winter weather. Like, I can't even phrase that any other way. Well, I probably could. I could not swear, but suck it up. I'd like to swear. Yeah, taking kids out in the winter is no joke. Like, we just got back from, I don't even know what we did. I got my ring fixed and then we went out for lunch, and I'm exhausted. And I didn't even do much, but it's like managing them in the car, and then they're crying, and then the car seats, and it's like, in Malaysia, you would drive for 5 minutes, get to the mall, and then you were done, and you'd walk around for 2 hours. But here, holy hell, you gotta drive here and get out, and drive there and get out. There's a lot of in and out of the car seats, and my kids kind of hate that, so I'm not loving it. But that wasn't really the question, was it? So yeah, weather and help. Pumping routine. Natasha Ibarra de la O was asking, what's my pumping routine? And actually someone else had asked about that. Sandy Lemetta was asking, what's my breastfeeding and pumping routine? So I probably mentioned this way back when, but I definitely breastfeed on demand. So when that baby cries, I give him a boob. That's just what I do. And for me, that works. I like to do it that way. I feel like it keeps my milk supply like solid, and I don't time feedings or schedule feedings. I mean, he'll feed till he's full, and he'll tell me when he's hungry, and I go by that. And now that he's 8 months old, we still co-sleep, so I breastfeed freely throughout the night. And of course he latches and unlatches on his own, and we sleep in the same bed, so I don't really notice the nighttime stuff very much. I mean, he's got a little bit of a cold, so I'm noticing that, but otherwise nighttime is just same old, same old. So he goes to bed at 7, and he's up by 7:38, and he nurses throughout the night as he chooses. And then in terms of daytime feedings, when he gets up, he now has breakfast, so he eats like solid food for breakfast, baby-led weaning kind of thing. And then he goes, so he's up around 7:30, and he goes for his nap at 10, so he'll breastfeed to sleep at 10. Then he's up by 11, 11:30, 12. He eats solid food for lunch, and by 1:32, he breastfeeds to sleep and wakes up, and then he'll breastfeed once between that 4 p.m. being awake and dinner. So I guess he doesn't nurse that much when you think about it in the day anymore, but again, it's all on demand. If he's sick, he'll breastfeed more, and if he's busy, he won't, and that's fine with me. In terms of pumping, I friggin' hate pumping. I try my best not to pump, but if I need to, then I do. And I just have like a single electric pump, and I just sit in a quiet place and I pump, and that's it. Since I don't really need to pump because I am home with him and I'm with him all the time, it's just not an issue. Shelly Green was asking how you and your husband have time for each other now that you have kids and your relationship has changed. I think we definitely don't have as much time for each other as we once did, and we are no near perfect example of like a perfect marriage or anything. Like, I don't know, does that even exist? But what we try to do is just have patience for each other and have freedom for the other person to do what they need to do, and then also in terms of just spending time together, which we tend to do once the kids go to bed. You know, whether that be just watching TV or else we're sitting on the sofa and we're sharing a glass, like, well, no, we each have a glass of wine, and he's on his computer and I'm on my computer, and we're just sitting in the same room quiet. To me, that's okay too. And we just talk to each other and stuff. And now, of course, that we're back in Canada, we have the opportunity to go on dates. We haven't yet, but we've been talking about it. So I'm thinking in the next couple days, we could get the kids to bed and then just go for like a nice drink or something while they're sleeping. And my in-laws, of course, are with them. So, but you know, I think it's a struggle. Any couple that has young children, I think they appreciate that this is the years of survival. It ain't no joke. I mean, we were laughing in the car saying, do you remember the days where you wanted to go to the store and you just got out of the car and walked to the store? Honestly, they don't tell you that crap before you have kids. It's gonna take you like 10 minutes to get everybody together to get into the store. And then once you're in the store, it takes you 10 minutes to do that whole damn process in reverse. So yeah, long story short, it's not easy. We try our best. We're nowhere near perfect. We have improvements everywhere, but we still really like each other, so that helps. Shaylee and Baby from Shaylee and Baby, actually, if you don't know that channel, go check her out. She also daily vlogs. She was asking, do you want to have more babies? I think I would love to have more babies. Like, I would love to have 4 babies, but the reality is I just don't think that that is the right plan for our family. I think that we have the perfect situation going on right now, a boy and a girl, and we're happy and they really like each other and it's manageable. And I just think at this point to have more children, it would just be a little bit too much for both of us. And I love my babies, but I don't love the process of being pregnant. And oh, it's not my favorite thing, which might be surprising to some of you to hear because I do document my pregnancy with Jack, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it at the end. I didn't love the recovery from the C-section. Like, it was quite hard on me physically, and I think just being pregnant and having 2 children, I think that would be a lot. And kudos to all of you that do that. I think that's amazing. But for us and our lifestyle with traveling and the whole shebang, it's just not in the cards right now. So at the moment, no, and I'm pretty sure we're done. So, but I won't close the door on anything, but I'm pretty sure we're done. Chelsea Farini was asking me how I pump and drink or breastfeed and drink and that kind of thing, because she occasionally sees me have a glass of beer. My motto with breastfeeding and drinking coffee or an alcoholic beverage or whatever is that if I am sober enough to drive, I'm sober enough to breastfeed. I do not pump and dump. No freaking way am I dumping my breast milk down the drain. No freaking way. That is liquid gold. Do you know what I'm saying? There is new research out there that shows that by the time the alcohol actually works its way through your system, given a small amount of alcohol, that you are okay to breastfeed and it doesn't affect my babies. Granted, I wouldn't do it at the beginning. Like, I always give myself 3-4 weeks once they're brand new to introduce caffeine and alcohol and Coca-Cola and that kind of stuff. But no, they're fine and everybody's fine. And I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm also the type of person that would have a glass of wine while pregnant. So keep that in mind, to each their own, but that's what works for me. Elizabeth Dubai was asking me my skincare routine because of the drastic climate change, you know, has that changed? And that, and it hasn't actually. I still do exactly the same thing. The only thing I've been doing differently lately is introducing a thin layer every now and then of the Glam Glow Thirsty Mask, I think it's called. It's that aqua bottle. I put a thin layer of that on right before bed, like a deep soaking, penetrating moisturizer type of thing. And actually my friend Emma Hartsock was asking the same thing, like, what have I changed? So Emma, try that. It's this, oh my god, it's amazing, and it smells so, so good. It's like a deep moisturizing thing. And Jack is calling me, so you know what, guys, that's it. That's all that I have time for today. I thank you so much for watching. My mommy duties are calling me, so I hope to see you in my next video, and that's it. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.